Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, a little past 7 o'clock, and I just got finished cleaning the loft. Everybody has eaten, and they're all sleepy, so there's not going to be much in the way of bird activity for me to translate. Excuse me. So we will spend this evening's episode talking about social structure. This is a great opportunity to see where everyone sits in the hierarchy. Everyone in here has an established nesty space or sleeping space. For example, Sissy, oh God bless him, look at him lean on Belle. Sissy owns the loft. This is widely considered to be the best nest box here. And because Sissy is big enough to pretty much pick any box he wants, and his wife is strong enough to follow him anywhere he goes, he has selected this box highest up and in the corner farthest from the door. Bram, because of his flamboyant display, is the second highest ranked bird here. He can't have that box because Sissy has it, but this box is up high and as close to that corner as he can get without upsetting Sissy. Now these two are the next most preferable boxes right now. Oh, Jet landed in the wrong box. These belong to two older established mating pairs. Now, the reason that this more favorable box was taken is because Sun Tzu and Pitch claimed it first. They are considerably older than Mia and Kara. PJ and Escher have this top box in the middle. And they hang on to it because of the younger birds. They are the two most adamant that that box belongs to them. They haven't laid any eggs yet, and they are still constantly trying to move into the box next door, which is considered to be better because it has walls. You can see Pippin in his box, which is considered the best box next to this top one. He's a young boy, and he's frankly not strong enough to fight too many other birds off of him. But he is more than tough and aggressive enough to defend this spot, and he's the one that wanted it most. Silk and Sony established this as their favorite nest box when this one was uncovered on top and less desirable. So they got into this one and laid their first clutch. Jet and Rigby prefer this box. That's where they hatched Muffin and Fluffernutter. This is their secondary box because when Rigby was ready to lay this egg, her children were still nestlings. All the rest of these boxes, well, no, I'm sorry. This is Hagrid's favorite box. It's right smack in the middle. She can get to it easily from pretty much anywhere. She doesn't really struggle to get up high. Just this happens to be a very convenient nesting place for her. That gives her a pretty wide berth away from other birds that want to nest. Generally speaking, nesting pairs want to have at least one empty box between them and their next neighbor. So we have this filled box, this empty box, this empty box, this unclaimed box, Cody aside, and this claimed box. And between her and the claimed box on the floor, which currently belongs to Bean, she has this empty one. Now there are at any given time 10 breeding pair here, and we have 37 boxes. So that's not quite enough for every bird to have 4 to 6 empty boxes on all sides. Whoa. So there's going to be some that are next door neighbors or up or downstairs neighbors. Right now, this box that is skipped down from Sissy belongs to Luca and his wife Bobby. This box, for right now, belongs to Tandy and Emilio. However, Lily and Emilio compete fiercely over which box belongs to who. Vinny. Sorry, it took me a minute to remember what his name was. I kept wanting to call him Luca, but Luca's his dad. Vinny has selected a favorite box, but he and Luca argue over who gets this box and who gets this box almost constantly. Right now, Luca is winning because he's older and frankly stronger. For now, his son outweighs him, so Luca is only stronger in that he has more experience. Vinny has not, however, picked out a mate. There's nobody he's even courting. I really hope, since where they sleep is for the most part the boxes they have actually claimed, I really hope to get an egg from Emilio and Tandy in this box, and one from Lily and Luxie in this one. Now, aside from Karen down here on the floor, who can't fly, none of the rest of these boxes have actually been claimed. Hi, Valentine. Valentine has come down for food. This is a good time to do it if you want to eat unmolested. Now you'll notice that a lot of the birds over here are just sleeping on the mats. And it's mostly the birds whose mates are on eggs and who are currently still squeakers, too young to actually have selected a box. So you have Puddin' and, oh, they changed guard. You have Puddin' and Fluffernutter here on the bottom. They are currently the lowest ranking, being the newest squeakers. And you have Bean, who doesn't have a mate right now, over here. The closest you have to a mate for Bean is Agnes, and Agnes has not decided whether or not she's going to fully accept his invitation. Cookie was over on the shelves a minute ago, and she just now changed guard with Pippin. I kind of wish I'd been facing in that direction, because the changing of the guard is really freaking cute. And I really love watching it. Pippin stepped out of the box and pooed that giant poo on the floor. Those tend to be huge, wet, and stinking, because he has been holding that for the last probably over 6 hours. Breeding pairs take 4 to 6 hour turns on their nests. Now, Rigby has not been. Rigby has been tending to this egg entirely on her own. And her mate looks like he feels a lot better today, but he's not 100%, so he's not up to joining her. He's been nesting all afternoon, so he is definitely very hungry. Birds off of the nest will poop, eat, and preen in that order. Asher and PJ sometimes sleep on the shelves and sometimes sleep in their box. I have no idea when they're going to do what. Oh, hi, Tandy. That was Silk declaring his ownership of that box that he and Sony are sharing right now. Ooh, ooh. I don't mean to interrupt you, precious. Gus lives over here on the shelf. He hasn't picked out a spot yet, which is unusual. I'm actually starting to wonder about Gus's sex because he hasn't picked out a spot. And because he hasn't started displaying or cooing at anyone, which is usually something that cockbirds do around 5 months. Excuse me. They start closer to 4 months, generally speaking. And Gus just has not. He hasn't shown any interest in anybody else. Sammy acts very cockish. Betty is over here because his wife is on their eggs right now, and he doesn't want to disturb her. So you have the pairs without children and the nesting birds on eggs in their nest boxes. You also have a couple, 2 or 3 young birds who are trying to claim a nest, like Ellie, who has claimed that spot underneath her dad. And that's Papillon in the spot she likes. She hasn't had anyone trying to court her here lately either. Oh, hey, some more have come down to eat and drink. And there goes PJ into his box with his wife. Well, Silk's down. Looks like Sony will join him in a minute. Oh, and there goes PJ trying to steal a box that's not his. That's not going to go great. He's stronger than his aunt, and he can throw her out. He usually does. But Bram doesn't appreciate that shit. And will usually give PJ the boot pretty quickly. And there goes Bean to his favorite box. Interesting that Tandy is down, but Emilio is still... Emilio, are you broody? Is that a broody man or just a sleepy one? Can I see? The way his wings are relaxed next to his body in this kind of loaf posture, he's more likely to just be loafing than broody. And sure enough. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. You can go back to your loaf. And you can see the difference here that the broody birds are sitting very tight-winged. They're not relaxing their wings out. Their wings are tightly pressed to their bodies, which keeps the shape of their brood pouch around their eggs. Let's have Cookie. Let me show you. Yeah, she will. Good girl. Emilio has come to visit Tandy and relieve himself outside the box. That, by the way, is why I very rarely have to clean an established nest box. They don't poop in it. Oh no, Bean tried to join his wife, but she's too big. That actually makes their relationship a little bit contentious. An established mating pair will, join each other in the box. A hen who wants a cock's company will step aside and let him. And Agnes, generally speaking, likes to have her standy space. On the ground, she tends to nod back to Bean, and she's pretty happy to see him. But actually, in her box, she wants absolutely nothing to do with him. Buck Bean. Tandy is going back into her box. And Amelia will follow in a minute. Tandy doesn't seem to like the straw I put down. She likes to throw it. She's not actually looking for anything. She just likes to throw the straw. No, she's still a young lady. Looks like Pippin and Emilio are getting into it a little. And Emilio is done with this mess. He's going to go see his wife. Glad Jet looks so much like he feels better. Alrighty. Well, we are a little bit over time. And most everybody is sleepy or trying to get comfortable. Excuse me. And I'm pretty sure my needles have arrived in the mail, so I'm going to go and check the mail. And then we'll set up for vaccinations. Thank you as always to my subscribers here on YouTube, to my followers on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram, and especially to my patrons on Patreon who make this much more easily possible than it would be without them. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much.